they'll lynch you. But he did, and I think he lasted about a week and a half.
On the back of respective 1-1 draws to kick off the current campaign in the Premier League, West Ham take on Chelsea on Sunday afternoon in the London Derby at the London Stadium. Both teams came from behind to salvage a point in our opening encounters as West Ham held off Bournemouth in a 1-1 draw and Chelsea drew, of course, with Liverpool as well at Stamford Bridge. But the two teams do take on each other at the London Stadium. And as you've seen from the title, there has been a big blow for Chelsea. And why has there been a big blow for Chelsea? Well, that's because Chelsea are actually struggling with injuries. They have several players out amongst their current squad. Chelsea captain Reece James will be out for a few weeks after suffering a hamstring injury. And we don't know if that will be longer or it depends on how bad his injury does. And, you know, we all know his hamstrings don't do the best at the best of times. They're also going to have no player, Benoit Badiashile. He will not be available. Bettinelli, he will not be available. Armando Broja, no sign of when he will return. Trevor Chalobah will not be available. Wesley Fofana and Christopher Nkunku are also amongst the names that will not be available for the West Ham game. Now, let's take a little look and see what the situation is of each of those players. Reece James, he was substituted in the second half against Liverpool, which prompted injury fears. However, Chelsea revealed on Friday that James picked up a hamstring injury in training ahead of the clash against West Ham, and that could see him miss upwards of a month, which is going to be a big blow. Pochettino went on and he said, I think it's a sad moment because he's our captain. He was so excited to be captain, full of energy, and I think we're going to assess him day by day as well as possible for sure. He's going to become stronger than he we're going to help him to become stronger than before. Then, of course, on Christopher Nkunku, he was taken off in the first half of Chelsea's final preseason clash against Borussia Dortmund after the challenge from Mats Hummels. It's been confirmed that his injury is worse than initially feared, and he's expected to face a few months on the sidelines. Pochettino said, we feel sorry for him. He was doing really well. He's a very important player for us. I think the quality is there. One of the best defensive players that can play in different positions. Always is a big issue for us now. It's about not thinking too much about the injuries and being positive about when we can gain with us and recover as soon as possible in a good way. He also mentioned potentially looking around the market to see if they're going to have a look at a player that can come in and potentially help cover that situation. Another player, Noni Madueke, after winning the Euros with England's under-21s, the hamstring injury has seen him miss pre-season. However, he has now returned to training. The winger did feature for Chelsea in the clash against Liverpool, but didn't come off the bench. As he still makes his return from injury. He's continued to be active in training, has posted himself at their training facilities, but we're interested to see if he will be or not available, if he's got enough on the tank for pre-season. Benoit Badiashile is another player that misses Chelsea's pre-season schedule due to a serious hamstring injury he sustained last season. He posted a picture of himself training for Chelsea. It's been reported that the club are targeting a return at the end of August for him. Armando Broja, player that West Ham have been linked to, is not featured since suffering his anterior cruciate ligament in the winter friendly with Aston Villa back in December. He's continuing his work in the training facilities with Chelsea. Wesley Fofana is going to have a significant spell on the sidelines after rupturing his ACL. Pochettino said, it's really sad, bad news. We feel so sad. We can only help him to be again with the team. We know it's tough. We need to help him and wish him all the best. We need to keep going. The competition is there. The competition doesn't wait for anyone, but we need to be ready. So there is a few players and giving you their kind of insight into why or where they will be moving forward for West Ham. But it does look like West Ham have a fully fit squad to choose from. So there's the boost for us with regards to the players, including Alvarez and, of course, James Ward-Prowse. In terms of match facts, West Ham have only won in their our only win in the last 6 Premier League matches against Chelsea was the 3-2 victory at the London Stadium in December 2021. West Ham have won 4 matches in all competitions against Chelsea at the London Stadium. The only team to have a better record against them is Southampton, who they have beaten 5 times. Now, West Ham have lost their opening league match at home in 4 of the last 5 seasons, with the exception of the 4-1 victory against Leicester City in 2021. And we could go without a win in our opening 2 league fixtures for the 6th time in the last 7 seasons. We've lost 11 of our last 16 London derbies in the league, with only 2 victories, both coming against Fulham last season. James Ward-Prowse is one short of 50 Premier League goals, having scored 49 and 343 flight appearances for Southampton. David Moyes has not beaten a side managed by Mauricio Pochettino in their 5 previous Premier League encounters. The only managers that have faced more often without winning are Pep Guardiola, 11, Graham Potter, 7, and Mikel Arteta with 7. Chelsea are looking to avoid being winless in their opening 2 fixtures of our Premier League season for only the 3rd time this century. They've won their first away league game in 6 of the last 7 seasons. They've won just 5 of the last 30 Premier League matches, drew 11, lost 14. Their fewest victories across the 30-game span in the league since December 1987 to October 1988. The only win in the last 13 top-flight fixtures was a 3-1 victory at Bournemouth in May. Chelsea lost 10 away league matches in the last season that we just concluded back in May. Their most since they were beaten 11 times in the 97-98 season. They scored just 18 goals in their 19 league away games last season. So there's another potential boost for West Ham. Look at that jumper. How terrible is that? I need to fix that for you as well. I'm doing this show. And they are aiming to avoid losing 4 successive top-flight London derbies for the first time since August to November back in 1990. But equally, you know what? The situation is nobody really knows with these 2 teams. You can throw it all up in the air and you don't really know what's going to land because you don't know where Moyes is going to go with this team. Things are changing amongst West Ham. You don't know what Pochettino's going to do because he's going to have several new players to integrate into the squad. It's going to be a potential exciting game. It's a London derby. It's under the lights at the London Stadium on a Sunday evening. Join us for the match day live. Leave your comments in, put your predictions in, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, check us out as well. But yeah, an injury blow, a blow for Chelsea, a boost for West Ham because they have so many injury concerns. West Ham have a fully fit squad. Let's get supporting the bloody club. Fingers crossed we can get 3 points on the board. Come on, you Irons.